On this version of Pit Stop, you're going to meet Steve and his dad, Dave Johnson, both professional baseball players, and they once played for the Baltimore Orioles. And we're here at Optimal Baseball Performance, and we're going to learn all about it.
So I'm Steve Johnson, former pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles and Seattle Mariners. Played 14 years professionally, and now we've opened Optimal Baseball Performance about a year and a half ago.
And tell me about the Performance Center here.
This facility and business is basically to try and help train athletes and young athletes specifically. We spend a lot of time training our bodies to pitch, but not a lot of times, or not a lot of time is spent basically getting our bodies in position and strong enough to get to the positions that we need to get into when we're hitting and pitching. And that's basically what I tried to create over the course of my career, and things I learned near the end. Are things that I wish I was able to get started at when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. And the information that we have now to be able to provide to these young athletes is something that's almost just being provided in pro sports now. Some of this stuff that is available to us here in this facility was not available to me when my last couple of years playing. So it's really cool to be able to share that with some young athletes to help them kind of perform over the course of their careers, not only at a young age, but into professional sports as well, and in college. And if we can give some of those athletes an edge going forward, not only with pitching but also hitting, that's going to help make their careers go further and have some fun playing the game. So basically, we deal a lot in functional strength, and what that entails is a lot of balance work, core stability, basically just trying to get the most out of our bodies. And when we're talking about mechanics and our hitting mechanics and pitching, and they all deal in the same process here. So we all think about the end result and what happens at the end, but we don't deal with what happens in the beginning and where that energy starts. So if we're able to help these guys stay more balanced, get the most out of their core, and really link up that energy all the way through their bodies, they'll be able to get the most out of it and put the most power into the ball and velocity when everyone's talking about that. But everyone's trying to get the same out of their bodies. They're trying to get the most power with in the most efficient way. And that's really what it comes down to, is that if they are using their whole bodies and not just their arms, say in pitching, it's also going to try and keep them healthier. I mean, if their energy's spread out all the way through, and their sequencing is in the right way, then the force on their arm is going to be less. And that's really, when we're dealing with young athletes, that's what we want to do. We want to get them to stay healthy. If they're on the field playing and being able to stay healthy on the field, they're going to have a lot more fun doing it. And so if I can help in any way doing that's what we're here for.
Okay, so if somebody's watching and their child is interested, what age group and how do they get in touch with you?
So our age groups are basically from 8 to 18 is really the key, but we deal with some guys who are a little bit older than that in college and hopefully in the pros going forward. And to get in contact with me, it's optimalbaseball.com or optimalbaseball@gmail.com. You can reach, there's the numbers there, and any info that you need, you can contact me through there.
Hi, I'm Dave Johnson, and basically, as everybody knows, I pitched for the Baltimore Orioles for about 3 seasons, 89 through 91, and pitched professionally for about 12 years. Originally signed with the Pirates. Grew up here in Middle River in eastern Baltimore County, and now I'm helping my son here at Optimal Baseball Performance, training kids of all ages and skill levels and trying to help them as best we can to make them better and have more fun playing the game.
How special was it when your son came up? I remember watching that one game where you're in the fans and he came out. You were a pretty excited dad, weren't you?
Yeah, getting the opportunity to watch my son get to that level, and clearly there's no question it was more special watching him play at the big league level for the Baltimore Orioles, and as crazy as it was, and there's that one link that we have where he actually pitched, and his first major league start at home for the Orioles was on August 8th, literally 23 years to the day, when I started my first game at home for the Baltimore Orioles back on August 8th of '89, and we both won our starts in those games. So to actually have won our first starts at home for our hometown team 23 years to the day on 8/8, which I don't know. I think that's Cal Ripken's number. Is that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, it was just a really crazy thing, and yeah, I was all excited about it, and a lot of friends and family, I'm sure, thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity that Steve had to be able to go out there and perform for his hometown team.
Now, when you were coming up, it wasn't that easy, was it? You had some struggles.
Yeah, I grew up here in Baltimore, as I said, in eastern Baltimore County, and I was a truck driver. I drove tractor trailer full time when I was 19, 20, 21. And then I fortunately went back to Community College of Baltimore and Baltimore City Community College at the time on a Liberty Heights campus, and pitched for George Henderson and Bobby Allman for 2 years in 1981 and 1982. We went to the Junior College World Series in '82, and I thought I was going to get drafted. I went 22-2 at my career there, and I was ready to get drafted and go on. And the draft came and went, and there was no draft, so I didn't get drafted. But fortunately, Bob Dawson, who was the scout regionally for the Pittsburgh Pirates at the time, had seen me previously. Bill Spencer, who I'd played some summer ball with during the summer in some unlimited games in Baltimore City over the previous 2 or 3 seasons. Bill Spencer was instrumental in contacting Bob Dawson and saying, look, this guy deserves a chance to go away. That's the kind of term they used back then when they said this guy deserves a chance to sign professionally. They always used the term, he deserves to go away. And Bob Dawson came, saw me pitched, and that was after the June draft in '82. He called me up the next day, he said, hey, I saw you pitch last night. And I was like, yeah, right. It was the whole thing. It was like, I actually didn't believe him. I thought it was somebody pulling a prank on me. And eventually he said, look, I'd like to give you an opportunity to sign if you want to. Let's talk about it. So I gave him my address. He said he lived in Frederick, Maryland at the time. And I lived in Middle River. So he said it would take me 45 minutes to an hour to get there. An hour later, he showed up. I signed. And a few days later, I went and started my career through the minor leagues with the Pirates. So, and a lot of things are, right place, right time. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time with the Pirates system in the lower minors where they didn't have a lot of high prospects. So they were able to keep an older guy who was good enough to kind of be successful, but wasn't really looked upon as a prospect of any type. And I just fortunately got to where I was kind of outperforming the prospects. So they kept me around, and then I finally put myself in a position to where, even though I only briefly played for the Pirates a little bit in '87, eventually got a chance to get traded to the Orioles from the Astros in spring of '89, and got a chance to come up, and the rest is history.
There you go. All right, let's elaborate how cool your son's place is, for the youth, because when you were young, you didn't have things like this.
Yeah, when I grew up, clearly we, were coached by dads, moms who may have played baseball, may have played softball, knew a little bit about baseball. If nothing else, they had a job that allowed them the opportunity to be out there for the kids and give them an opportunity to have some type of, place to play and be able to have some type of structure with it. Now it's off the charts. It's crazy. And to be able to, be doing this in conjunction with my son, Steve, who, he kind of learned a little bit of this just at the very end of his career, but it was kind of probably too late for him to make the changes that he needed to make. And now we're able to affect kids at a lot younger age group. This functional strength program designed by Dr. Greg Rose out at Titleist Performance Institute out in San Diego, in conjunction also with Dr. Tom House, who was Nolan Ryan's pitching coach for the Texas Rangers way back when I was pitching. They have designed this program through biomechanics and understanding 3D motion capture and all these things where we're actually not guessing anymore. And we literally guessed before. We kind of watched somebody and said, yeah, that looks like a major leaguer, so we'll teach that. And now we actually don't guess. We actually know exactly what has to happen and how energy is transferred from the ground level all the way through their body to be the end result of a pitch or the end result of bat speed. So it's really neat to be able to take kids now and show them a functional strength program designed for them to be able to get the most out of their bodies and to be able to be the best they can be, limit the possibilities of injury. You can't always take that away. It's always there. But if you get the most efficient way that they can do the delivery or a swing, and then you help them to get stronger in doing it exactly the way that it works best for them, it helps lessen the opportunity for injury, but also increases the opportunity for them to be more successful.
All right, if somebody's interested, I can get more information.
Yeah, you can go to optimalbaseball.com, optimalbaseball at gmail.com, and all the information is there. You can email Steve, or there's a number there where you can call him. and you can get all the information. But we basically designed this in about 3-month programs as we go through, and it's real simple to get started. All skill levels are welcome, and again, we'll work with somebody who's just starting out, or we'll work with somebody who's actually really good right now at maybe 11, 12, 13 years old, but they may not realize there's some things that they need to change, or just tinker a little bit to get the most out of their body and to be really the best pitcher or hitter they can be.
All right, Dave, thank you.
Bet.